This tutorial will cover the petty cash and Imprest account reimbursements to guide fund custodians and coordinators through the process. Let's begin with petty cash. Petty cash is money set aside for small purchase obligations for which it's not cost-effective to issue a purchase order and not possible to buy with a P-card. Examples might include refreshments or a computer cord or similar items that are needed immediately. Petty cash transactions must be less than $100. The fund custodian should remember that to keep the fund balanced, they should always verify that the receipts plus cash on hand equal the fund total. A common misuse of petty cash is for parking fee reimbursement. Anything related to travel or for employee reimbursement should not be reimbursed through petty cash or Imprest account funds. Fees incurred while in a travel status should be part of the travel reimbursement. If not in a travel status when incurring parking or other fees, use the employee reimbursement non-travel process. An Imprest account has a fixed amount of money for the purpose of making change or minor disbursements. Per county policy, individual bank accounts should be established for Imprest funds. These funds are used like petty cash, except that it's dispersed as a check, not as cash, and it's written by the coordinator from the Imprest account. The rule of thumb for both petty cash and Imprest accounts is that they should never be used for personal cash advances. And employees should use a P-card whenever possible. The petty cash and Imprest accounts reimbursements are meant to be used only as options of last resort. The process for requesting reimbursement of petty cash and Imprest funds begins with the administrator or coordinator collecting all the original supporting documentation from the employee who made the purchase to verify accuracy and approval authorization before distributing funds. The custodian or coordinator should have all original receipts and either a signed petty cash slip or an Imprest bank statement. The custodian or coordinator will then scan the receipts and the supporting documentation. A good tip to remember is to be sure to scan all documentation facing the same direction. Someone with iExpense access, the custodian or coordinator, is responsible for step 2, entering the expense report and receipts into Oracle. They will need to verify the expense type, the poetic coding, the reason for the justification field, and ensure that the receipts equal the report total. The system will automatically notify your iExpense approver to review and approve the expense report once entered. Coordinators should be sure to set Oracle preferences to receive automatic notifications when their expense reports are approved. If you need assistance setting your preferences, check out the Business Resource Center's online videos explaining the process. You can find a link to those resource videos on our Procurement and Payables website or on the BRC intranet site. Once the coordinator is notified the expense report was approved, they will need to forward the Oracle auto notification email to iexpense.ap@kingcounty.gov. Be sure to attach the scanned documentation including receipts, petty cash slip, or Imprest bank statement. And also note that you should always keep the same email subject line that is sent from Oracle. In this sample email forwarded to accounts payable, you can see that the email was forwarded to the correct account, iexpense.ap@kingcounty.gov, that the sender correctly retained the original Oracle subject line, and that the necessary attachments are included. Remember, the agency coordinator admin is responsible for retaining all original documents for the reimbursement. Only scanned copies are sent to accounts payable, meaning the agency is the official record keeper and will be responsible for all original records and applying the 6-year retention period. If there is an audit, an auditor may want to come to your site to review the records, so the records will need to be accessible if requested. The fund custodians will be notified by accounts payable to pick up the reimbursement check in their name. Checks will need to be picked up at Central Accounts Payable on the 3rd floor of the Chinook building. Custodians will then cash the check for petty cash or deposit the check for Imprest accounts at a U.S. bank, King County's banking institution. One final quick tip to remember is that all reimbursements should be submitted before the end of the year since, per King County policy, petty cash and Imprest expenditures must be recorded in the correct year. Accounts Payable sets due dates for end-of-year payments and reimbursements. Check the Procurement and Payables website as we near year-end for posted deadlines to be sure you don't miss them. We hope this tutorial has been helpful. Remember, there are additional resources available on our website, www.kingcounty.gov/procurement, including the BRC videos and user manuals demonstrating how to submit and approve an Oracle expense report.